Hi Matt, I'm noticing lately that when I'm going to read it down here, come up with a bright idea of some sort and the energy feels joyful. Well, everything's happening now. I feel immediately tired afterwards and end up not being able to stay in that flow, often going into other things that are more distractions. I am imagining a bit of self-sabotage or resistance coming up, but any suggestions on how to move through that pattern would be appreciated. Well, great questions, Sister Shauna. Okay, so you have a great idea. You expand into that. You feel your vibration grow, and it's exciting. And then that necessarily triggers, that lift in your own vibration necessarily triggers a release of the energies that you're carrying from the past that want to protect you from taking a risk, that want to protect you from stepping out into your light, that want to protect you from being noticed as someone who is not just staying meek and mild and small, right? There might also be energies in there that want to protect you from the potential disappointment that if you step into a bright idea that it might not work out, and that might lead to you feeling deflated or defeated or like a failure. So it's better to not try than to try something and then fail, right? There's a lot of that energy, and it's very, very common, and you're not wrong for having that. That's just been we've just been sort of programmed into that or led into that through a very difficult past over the last few thousand years here on this planet of being persecuted and downtrodden and controlled in a lot of ways. So to step out of yourself into what your soul is basically, inspiring you towards, right? What your soul is inviting you into, and it feels expansive and it feels exciting, and yet at the same time, whenever you think about doing it, you feel tired or you feel that you lose your energy, which is basically the density that's being triggered are rising to the surface. So this term self-sabotage is a slippery term. It's a loaded term, a charged term, because when people hear it, it sounds like they're deliberately doing something to keep them sabotage, to keep them small, and it's not the case, right? Self-sabotage is talking about subconscious energies in your field that get triggered when you attempt to or choose to or contemplate doing something that is out of your normal, something that is exciting, something that is joyful, something that is aligned with who you be. Then these energies arise naturally to protest, and you can't really control it. You can't suppress those energies that are coming up to protest, because they're coming up to basically, it's an opportunity to release them. But the process forward is to recognize this process and not to fight it and not to make yourself wrong and not say, oh my God, I'm self-sabotaging again. But to go, great, I've got an opportunity now to step past these resistances. So it comes up, you feel tired, you naturally want to do something distractive that feels more comfortable. You're more confident to do something that doesn't have nearly as big a potential outcome, that doesn't feel as nearly as exciting, that doesn't feel nearly as expansive. So therefore it feels more safe. So without torturing yourself, noticing that process, you then go, what little steps can I take towards that big dream, right? I can feel the drain on myself. I know that this is triggering. I know that I don't feel safe in doing this. And I'm holding myself in compassion right now as I choose to do a little bit towards that, not necessarily setting the bar so high, going, you know what, I'm just going to do it this time and it's going to be easy. It's unlikely to be easy. And it's quite possible that you won't actually succeed in doing it the first time, the second time, the third time, or even the fifth time. But eventually you will chip away at or erode the resistance that's keeping you out of doing it. And so when you get a bright idea and the opportunity seems there, it's to recognize that immediately you feel the drain, which is not wrong, and that you can actually step towards it and embrace that process in a more empowered way, to keep reminding yourself, this drain that I'm feeling is what I'm releasing, this density that's arising, this fear or this sabotage energy is what I'm releasing. My soul is dragging me forward, inviting me forward, enticing me forward into being a more expansive expression of myself here on this planet. Right now I have an opportunity to do that. Am I willing to step past some discomfort to try to do it, to attempt to do it, to make inroads towards doing it or not, right? Am I just going to give up so easily? And it's not to make yourself wrong if you do end up giving up. It's just to recognize that there is a process proceeding, right? This process is proceeding, and you will keep getting more and more inspirations to do expansive things, and you will keep getting the opportunity to step past your discomfort. That's the thing. You can't, it's important to let go of the idea that this is your one opportunity, and if you mess this up, then you won't get another one, and therefore you almost don't want to take this opportunity because you don't feel ready, right? It's like you'll never feel ready, and there's never just one opportunity. And if you mess this opportunity up, the actual attempt at moving forward will serve you well, because it'll make it easier next time you get the opportunity. So it's not that we should just wait for the easy shot and then take it and then feel really satisfied that we succeeded. We must be willing to step forward into any opportunity we get. I was almost going to say every, but that's too high a bar. Into any opportunity we get, it's beneficial to step forward into taking attempts at achieving that, even though the odds might be stacked against us at first, because every time we make an attempt, we actually reinforce the fact that we are up to the game. We are choosing to step forward into this, and that will keep eroding away the resistance that says stay small and stay safe. And every time you attempt to step forward, you will get closer to achieving those outcomes. It's important to be willing to fail. It really is. If we just want to try things that we feel confident that we can succeed at because we're scared of the failure experience, then we're not going to be very successful on this planet. All successful people, whether they're businessmen, sportsmen, entertainers, spiritual beings, whatever, all successful people are successful because they consistently fail. They not only risk failure, they actually have failure experiences time and time and time and time and time again, right? But they keep stepping up to the plate. Life is a practice. Like, you can see this in sportsmen, right? They just keep practicing. And of course, they keep practicing to try and do things that are harder and harder to do. And of course, the majority of their practice is about failing to do something that is extraordinary, right? Soccer players keep, attempting to kick it right into the freaking corner of the goalpost. You know how many attempts they've had at doing that and how many times they've missed, failed, bounced off, right? Thousands and thousands of times. But slowly but surely they get better, and the probability that they succeed gets higher and higher. And so they become a great person at doing that, which makes them a great sportsman in their particular chosen field. Same with a great musician who tries and tries and tries to get the intricacies of playing certain complex, whatever we call those things, scores, right? Arrangements. How many times did they hit the wrong note? But they didn't feel deflated or defeated every time they failed. They just keep trying. And eventually they get better and better and better at doing it. And their overall playing improves, and their overall confidence improves. So this is it. Every time you attempt to do something that's not going to be easy for you to achieve, you improve your confidence, and that ripples through the entire of your life. It's not just about practicing so that you achieve that certain thing, so then you can have the satisfaction of, I can do that certain thing now. It's in practicing that certain thing that you actually improve your ability to do lots of things, and your overall confidence in yourself and your overall relationship with failure improves, which is also really important for living this life comfortably, that you can go, oh yeah, I missed that. I failed that. That didn't work out, right? My partner didn't quite understand me then. That's ended in a disagreement, right? Even though I was trying to be more open, more vulnerable, right? These things are practices. We can't expect to just step into being more open and vulnerable and have it go well, because if we haven't practiced it and if our partner's not used to it, then likely at first it gets taken slightly in the wrong way, and it's not quite as satisfying as we might like. But we know, we have a feeling deep in our heart that we want to be more vulnerable, we want to be more intimate, right? We want to be more connected. And so that takes, and it's not just about, our significant partners. This is about friendships. This is about our boss. This is about working with our colleagues. This is about working with our customers. We want to have more in this relationship. And so we're choosing to step towards that, knowing that at first it might not be so successful. We might have to backtrack. We might have to, because until we've practiced it, we don't have a great track record to know that it's going to work. And at first there's going to be discordances there that we need to iron out. We need to release. You know, if you're asking for more money, for example, as a facilitator or as a business person or as a heart-centered service provider in anything, right? You know you're worth more, but now you have to start asking for more money because your clientele is used to you pay, only charging a certain amount. Then at first it's going to be really hard to ask for more money, and at first some of your clients are going to, question you about, oh, how come your rates are going up? And that's going to feel like a direct attack, right? But they're not, that's a normal part of the process, and this is giving you the opportunity to practice saying, hey, well, I really feel my services are worth this now. When you can willing to say that, right, to your client, then you are basically owning your self-worth in a much, much bigger way, right? And so a lot of people want to avoid having to say that, and so they're trying to work out how they can increase their prices so that no one challenges them on it. And that's not the point, right? It's not about getting more money, it's about claiming your self-worth. You have to understand that the benefit in taking a lot of these expansive steps forward is not the outcome, it's the process of stepping through the process of expansion. That's where the benefit is, that's where the growth is, that's where your joy is in achieving your ability to expand your ceilings, expand your thresholds, move into new areas, claim your expansive nature. So it's not so much the outcome that's important, it's the fact that you are willing to get on the horse again and again and again and step through the process of expansion, because as you keep practicing that, you get better at doing that. And that is what makes you successful and joyful and feel much more purposeful in yourself, right? To keep choosing to expand, to keep choosing to grow, to never sit on your hands and think, well, I'm pretty comfortable where I am. If it's ain't broken, don't fix it sort of mentality. And so, of course, there's a line there. I always talk about, are you satisfied where you are? Can you be satisfied where you are? Because it's important to be satisfied where you are. It's important to be happy where you are. It's important that we're not needing expansion in order for us to find the next level of happiness because we're not satisfied where we are. That's a fear-based reason for stepping forward. We're wanting to look for a loved-based reason to step forward, that we're satisfied where we are, but we know we can be more in the next moment. We can know we are going to feel more joy at stepping into a greater expression or of expansive self. So did that answer the question? I know I went off on one then, but that's what happens. That's why I love questions, because they trigger an expression. So